So, welcome to Rikki Talks to another incredibly inventive name by myself that I spent weeks going over different options. ChatGPT really helped me out with this one. But yeah, Rikki Talks to, and it only seems right that the first episode of Rikki Talks to should be with the man that was my first ever client. He was my case study when I was learning how to do the coaching and all that kind of good stuff. He was already a friend, is an even better friend now. He's like a little brother. He is the current knockout wrestling champion, the current Odyssey Pro Wrestling champion, my first ever client, somebody that I see like a little brother. A lot of people watching this will know him as Will Carter, but today I'm talking to my friend Will Livesey. How is it going, my friend? How's that for
Um,
an intro? Boom.
that banger intro. Start doing introductions at shows. That'd be sick.
But that well, I need to retire to be fair because I'm pretty knackered. So
Hey, that's the new venture.
no, that's it, mate. I've retired twice this year, so I can't do another one just yet. Well, last year I haven't retired yet this year, so that's all good, mate. So, how are you anyway, mate? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. It's good to be finally doing this. I feel like we've spoken about it quite a bit, and we've never really got around to it. But no, I'm
Oh,
excited.
we've had a lot of good conversations in the past, so
Yeah,
a lot of them I think fucking hell, I wish we recorded that because that was really decent. So this one will probably be crap because we've had a lot of like
yeah,
really, really good conversations.
yeah.
Another part of this whole thing is aiming to not get cancelled as well. Um, so.
Well, yeah, I am in uni as well, so I'll try. I don't really want to get a bad rep there
No,
and stuff.
well, that's it.
Yeah.
Fuck your reputation. No, it's all good, mate. It's all good. So, first thing that I want to ask you about is, firstly, a massive congratulations because I know over the years of wrestling, because from my first day ever wrestling, you were already wrestling, despite being 15 years younger than me. Um, And I just want to say how incredible the end of 2024 has been. It's been a long journey to you. You've won tag team titles, you've won mid card championships, but in 1 week, you won the heavyweight championship of both Knockout Wrestling, which is our hometown promotion, and Odyssey Pro Wrestling, which is a promotion that obviously I'm heavily involved in. So, how was that feeling and everything culminating to that moment?
Um, it's funny because like the two experiences, like KOW and Odyssey, like they're both extremely like cathartic experiences, but like for completely different reasons. Because obviously, I started at KOW when I was like the first session I ever went to was with my brother when I was like 9. Before it was called KOW, it's called like G Ring Promotions or something in Ulverston. That's like a little history bit for you. But I like, but like actually being there since I was like 12, 13, and I'm 24 now.
You're
Jesus Christ.
24. When did
I'm
that happen?
this month.
I was sat there this morning thinking, how old Will? I'm sure he's 21.
24. 24. It's not good. It's not good. But in saying that, so like what, like 12, like basically half my life. And for KOW, like um it's been like it was just this really like it didn't really hit me for like a couple of weeks, both of them. But KOW was like because I turned heel and that reaction that we got, like that was a culmination of a really big story that we were telling as we were coming out of COVID. Um, and like the sort of the breakdown of a tag team and this like brotherhood. But eventually we kind of rose to the top right at the end when it seemed like a breaking point. And I think it was just really cool the way nobody expected us to do what we did. Nobody expected for the turn to happen. Um, so that reaction was really cool to get in Barrow because sometimes like even though I've been there a while, sometimes you can struggle to get the reaction you want in any show. Um, so I think for me, doing it with Jake as well, having that moment with him, even though I was whacking his head in and beating him for the title, being able to do that with Nightmare, I should say, actually, completely broke kayfabe
Oh,
for a second. We'll
Jake.
just it's Jake. Like, but doing that with Jake and having that was really cool. And then obviously seeing my brother Tom, who got me into wrestling originally. My brother
What
Matty,
was Tom's gimmick name again?
uh, Adam Adrenaline Rush.
Adam Adrenaline Rush. I
Mm,
remember the first knockout wrestling show I ever went to watch. And him and the other Smurfweight. Was it Smurfweight? The
X-rated. He was
X-rated. That's
called.
the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
they were doing a tag team ladder match. I'm sure it was a tag team
yeah,
ladder match in the first show I ever went to watch. Uh,
yeah.
knockout wrestling. So, so how did you feel when it was first pitched to you by Andy that we're going to give you the championship, but you're going to turn heel? What was your initial thoughts?
I loved it.
Yeah,
I really did. Like it because there was a part of me when I was younger and thinking about like winning the title, it was this like big face moment and it was really fun. But like obviously Lucas had done it and he was in like my age. We did that together. We came up together. So Tom did it. Um Ed, Teddy Ray, Two Bit. He he was a heel champion. But like I don't know. I just thought like anniversary show, turning heel, like as much as like the face moment would have been really cool, I think if I was ever going to turn heel there, that was the perfect moment. Like otherwise, I think any momentum I could have had as a heel, um, I, it wouldn't have been anything compared to that. Turning on the biggest face in the company, um, who we're tag team champions together. I thought, and like because at the same time he pitched the entire year or 2 years. I can't remember when we originally came up with, but like the actual idea for me turning heel was like 2 years prior. And we spent that time because we were just losing constantly, like booking, and it kind of came up naturally this losing streak because we lost the belts, like 2 years back, the tag belts, and then we just naturally through booking we were just losing, and then it started becoming like a conscious decision. So, like when Andy pitched like that year of storytelling, I was like, yes, yes, it'd be sick. I thought like that would be the perfect way to sort of end that because it means we have a complete clean slate. I mean, go something completely different. There's no sort of like questioning. It's like, okay, let's do something new now, you know?
yeah, totally get you. And the thing is, I know from experience as well, it's nice being the good guy, but being a bad guy is fun. Like
Mm,
like I love it. I've done my good guy stint, and it's nice to be
yeah.
doing what I'm doing in certain places. But like you said there, you had that championship moment. You just turned heel, so you sat there on the ground. You're looking round. Everyone's booing. They're going mad. They're in disbelief. Apart from your mum, who's jumping around like a child because she can't believe how excited she is. She don't even care that you've just done what you've done. Forward 1 week later,
Mm,
Odyssey. I genuinely believe that that moment of you winning the championship, that last 10 minutes of the match, with everything that was going on, with the story that you guys had told for 4 years, to get to that point and to have that moment and have the ring swarmed with all them kids, to have your mum there in the audience was probably the most emotional I've ever been watching wrestling, and that's including on the television. What you guys did in that story to me was it was out of this world. So what were you feeling at the end of that match?
well, you could see it on like the videos and the picture. I don't show that much emotion, like real emotion on shows and stuff like that. Like even when I won the KOW title, like I was able to hold it together. I saw my mum in the crowd, and that was like that's welled up a bit, but like I was a heel. I was in the
Yeah,
moment.
because you're a bad guy, you couldn't
Yeah,
start crying because of
but
happiness.
like so but like for that Odyssey one, that final ending, I was so present the entire match. Like I was so in it. Um like every single sound, like it all felt like we were all just so connected. Like like me, Isaiah, the Freak Show boys, the Meat Wagon, the crowd, my mum. I mean, the best example, I was crying about 3 minutes before the ending because I knew what was coming next. Um, because I was looking at my mum and she's going, get up, get up. And I'm like, I know what's coming. And like, but I've never like I was like childlike sobbing, like crying in my mum's arms. Um, so like what I was feeling was like that is genuinely one of the most like one of the best experiences of my entire life. Like in terms of the entire day, actually, like I was so present, and there was so much going into that. We obviously like what we'd been doing for the past 4 years, where it should have been, what the original plans were, how we just continuously evolved it. On a personal note, I'd never had like a story where I was able to like make like hype packaging and stuff. Because for me, wrestling, that's my favorite bit. That sounds like strange, but like not necessarily storytelling is everywhere in wrestling. It's just those like 2, 3 minute promo packages. That's the stuff that I was really into, and that's what got me into like my course in uni and stuff. Like eventually, it all roots down to that.
Yeah.
So being able to do that and I created three in the end,
They
for
were
the
all
Odyssey
incredible.
story.
That one before the
Thank
main
you,
event,
man.
I was sat there, I was sat in the crowd, and I remember you sending me that a few days before and thinking, I opened the file up and it was like 4 minutes, 40 seconds or something. My initial reaction was fucking too long, can't play this before the match.
Yeah.
Then I watched it and I was like, holy shit. I was like, we can't trim this down. We were like, usually something that long would play at the start of the show,
Mm,
but
yeah.
like we get this in, we make time for it. And for the, like I say, the people that don't know, myself, Ethan, Liam, we book the Odyssey shows, and this was never meant to happen. This like you like not like we love you and we know how talented you are, and you were always going to be part of the roster, but it was never the plan for this
Mm,
to happen. And I think they're the best stories in wrestling when the crowd just get behind you
yeah.
and just this swell. And that you were brought in as a bad guy. You were just
Yeah.
you were
100%.
brought in as the tag team within this creepy faction.
I was supposed to wear a mask.
That's all it was meant to be. It was meant to be a bit of mid card fun,
Yeah.
and it grew arms and legs. And like I say, it just came at this moment, and the crowd started getting behind you and behind you and behind you, and then all of a sudden it became undeniable. It was like,
Yeah.
shit, Will's got to be the next champion.
I mean,
There's no other way we can do this.
I think it's also like it was so organic, but like that only actually happens in Morecambe. Like it's hard to actually state how amazing they are as like a crowd. Like you want as like a performer in any aspect, you want like people who like immerse themselves in that world, in that story, because that's what storytelling is in any capacity, theater, wrestling, whatever.
Yeah,
And like the adults, the kids, they all just for 2 hours they're in that world. And like obviously there's that saying it's really Morecambe, but like that 15 minutes, everything I felt, everything I was doing, the reactions I was giving out, that was fully real. Like that was me. That wasn't a character.
yeah,
Um, and that sounds like cliche. I don't know, but like it genuinely like the reaction I got afterwards and like I'm crying in front of a load of strangers, basically. That'll never happen again for me. And that's not even like a sad thing. It's like genuinely you only get that once in terms of like you only feel that feeling once. So
yeah.
even if I do manage to tell a story that in that way again and it goes the way it won't feel the same as that did.
Yeah.
Um
And like I said, we spoke about that the week after, didn't we?
yeah.
One of them, it's not, it was almost like, let's not worry about what happens next. Let's just
Mm,
take
yeah,
stock of that moment
literally.
and 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 just enjoy it.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, you're just chasing a feeling all the time when
exactly.
sometimes the best things have already happened,
Yeah.
and knowing that you're at peace with that, it is an incredible thing. Like I know me and the guys were incredibly proud of what all of you guys did. So Paulo, Isaiah Quinn is without a doubt the most creative person I've ever met.
I want
Generally, like not even just in wrestling, really, just
yeah.
generally.
I want to say really quickly like the Freak Show boys, the Meat Wagon, especially the Freak Show boys, like Paolo as well. Paolo, Nightmare, Steel, and Isaac North, they all sacrificed like a lot as well,
Mm,
especially like Nightmare and Sheriff Steel. Um, like in terms of getting me over, it doesn't work unless all of them, all four of them, and the Meat Wagon as well, are all also pushing for me to get as over as humanly possible. Like they all accepted, okay, Will's character is going to be the centerpiece. We're all going to build a story around that and just keep pushing and keep pushing. And that was always the thing. And that was really like humbling experience because obviously like it ends up with me benefiting from it, but ultimately like all the messages we had afterwards, it's like we all did that. Like it wasn't like and like the crowd did that. Like it's all like a team effort and I think that was really good for us and the moments we had backstage being able to take a picture and stuff like that it's like
Yeah.
as much as like I'm holding the title in the end it's like it all comes from everybody like Meatwagon was our first match in Odyssey as well
Yeah.
like this is the thing about it it's so wild how it all just is so connected organically um
Fantastic, fantastic writers, mate.
hey mate you could argue it was meant to happen from the get-go.
It's great when things just all work out.
Mm,
When you work out when you come up with initial stories and the way they develop and the thing is, you guys made all that happen. You
yeah
know, there was a basic skeleton and we chopped, changed, did what we needed to do to work with it, and it ended up
yeah
at the top. And it and seeing Isaiah Quinn afterwards as well, after obviously being told a couple of years ago that he won't be able
mm,
to wrestle again to get to do that match and end things on his terms as well. I won't go too in depth on that because he doesn't know until right now, but I'm going to ask him if he wants to speak to me over the next few weeks. So I'm putting him on blast on camera. Um, yeah, because the whole thing was incredible. But I don't want to just talk about wrestling and Will Carter. I want to talk about Will Livesey as well. So, what from your childhood do we need to know that has shaped the person that you are today?
my
Because, sorry, I want to know this because I know a lot about you now as a man. I know about your values, like, and I've been your friend for a lot of years now, but I don't know a lot about your life,
mm.
and that's why I want these conversations. So,
I think like first of all, I was really lucky. I am very blessed with the parents I have. I said like everybody who knows me knows my mum, like especially in wrestling, Mother Sue. Shout out to Mother Sue. Um, like but both my parents, um, they're just best mates, and they showed me like basically how to treat people and how to treat your loved ones, and like how to have fun and just be good people. And it was like I'm just very lucky to have that, especially my mum. Like my dad has worked away from home and he sacrificed basically like since I've been in existence, sacrificed his like day to day to work. Like he's in France, he's in Austria, Italy, all the way around the UK, just driving and stuff. Uh,
he does the coach trips and everything, doesn't
yes,
he? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but he's like the tour inside, so like
Yeah, so
he's never home.
I didn't realize this about touring coaches that it's like that's their coach and they take ultimate pride in
Yeah,
their being mum and it's and like
yeah.
I didn't know all this.
But like it trickles down now. So like my mum's also like my mum will send me a picture of my dad's coach, and like if something happens where the coach gets scratched, even my mum's like fuming about it. It's
Yeah,
almost like it's like a family
Kevin
possession
won't be
now.
happy. He won't be
Yeah,
happy.
she's fuming about it. But no, yeah, like it's a full on. It's not full time. It's his life. He's in
Yeah,
hotels all the time, like, and it's a very isolating life. Um,
yeah,
and he's basically doing that to provide for us, even now, still.
yeah.
Like, um,
And your
and
mum
then,
definitely also thought, well,
well, that too, and
she's
like,
a diamond. I'll mention more about your mum in a bit, but
but
she's
like,
an absolute diamond.
so like, obviously, it for the majority, especially like growing up in my teens and my adulthood, um, uh, like from about 10 onwards, I was spending most of my time with my mum. So they both raised me, but like in terms of day-to-day interactions, I was with my mum and she taught me empathy and just being a good person and real emotion. Like I wouldn't have been able to open up so expressively at Odyssey and be so comfortable in my emotions without my mum.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and I think that's really important. But she is incredible and she's got such good energy and you wouldn't think she's the age she is. Like even though her knees are giving up, like she's got this energy that you want to be around. She hugs everyone. She cares so much about everyone else. Um, and she actually loves wrestling. Like seriously, she's fully into it. Like watches AEW every week, WWE every week. She's messaging me about it. Like she fully immerses herself in everything that I do.
Yeah,
Um, and they're the reason why I went to uni as well. My mum and my dad. My dad. So like you'll get this, but like Barrow, it is a cul-de-sac, but like there is nothing for you apart from like going to the yard
yeah,
and BAE. If you want any sort of creative job, you've really got to look outwardly. And my dad was always like, get out of Barrow. Not in like a bad way, just like, mate, there's so many more opportunities there, there's so much more to experience. And like a town like Barrow, like any small town, if you get a full-time job there, you're going to be making enough money to live there. You'll be set, and you're
yeah,
not going to really be able to experience those things. So they're the reason why I came to uni, why I've met the friends I had, why I'm still wrestling. Like it all kind of trickles down to them. Like they planted the seeds and everything, and just I'm very lucky to have that. So in terms of like the first thing that makes me me is my parents, and
yeah,
then
yeah.
um
And say your mum's an absolutely incredible woman. Ever since I met her, just how kind she is. She's always been amazing with me. Whenever my mum can't come to the wrestling shows, Sue always comes up to me and gives me a hug and says that's from your mum. She's an absolute diamond, and whenever I talk about you, or a post goes up about mental transformations, physical transformations, she's always so proud. Yeah, I absolutely love Sue.
yeah.
She's a very, very, very good woman.
I also
And
I also
she's funny as well. Like some of the shit that like I've seen on
so
Facebook.
funny.
She's
Jesus Christ.
yeah, she's good fun.
Like
She is good fun.
but like COVID for example, like my dad was home full time for the first time in years. COVID for the most part for us, every day, like as much as like it was shit for everyone. Like don't get wrong, it was hard for us, but there was always a moment every day where we were like belly laughing, the three
Yeah,
of us, um, like full on like cry laughing. Like my dad's on his hands and knees. I thought he was having a cardiac arrest at one point, and like that in itself, it's like that like little 18-month period really shaped me as an adult because I was what 20 at that time. So like big like that sort of like 18 to 20 period or like 20 to 21 like th those are really that's a really important stage for a lot of people, and I had that full time with my parents when I that's very rare for me even now.
and the thing is,
So
well, like you said, having your mum and your dad there, and to be enjoying each other's company that much is when he's away so often. It
yeah,
just it's testament to you guys as a family, because a lot of people during that time were like, "Oh my fucking god, I can't stay with this person 24/7. This is an absolute nightmare." And
yeah,
people splitting up
yeah,
left, right, and centre, and there was all sorts going on. So I suppose having everyone together just helps everyone, from a mental health standpoint and whatnot as well. So
yeah. Like
so
they are best mates,
yeah,
and they are like my best mates.
yeah.
There's never like every time we see each other, they're just taking the piss. It's like I'm like their age in a weird way sometimes. Like
Well,
I can't explain it, but
it's more like they're your age.
they're literally my age. I think that's the thing. They haven't they've now I've got to a certain age. They don't have to be adults anymore because
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
done their job. They're like, you're an adult now.
yeah.
We can
They've done your bit. Like the
yeah
boys are all grown up, and
yeah. Now they can just let loose.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So just to rewind slightly, then, so you're 12 years old. You're at Walney School, I believe. You're at Walney School, are you?
Yeah, I would have just started year
Yeah,
seven. Yeah.
and that was the age that you started actually training to be a wrestler. Then at 12 years old. So what made you want to do that at that point?
Uh, honestly, like I don't know. So the plain and simple, I was playing football, didn't get picked for the team. My brother was like, come to training. I was like, all right. Because like, don't get me wrong, I'd watched wrestling as a kid, but like I kind of went out of it, started getting into football like a lot of young lads do. Um, and then got into wrestling. Even like I'm not gonna lie, like when I started training, I wasn't watching wrestling religiously or anything. Like, and I don't know if I ever have watched it like super religiously. It's always been something I've enjoyed to watch. Um, And like I said, like my inspiration for media and stuff like that has always come from the hype packages. But like in terms of watching it week by week, what wasn't me. I was just watching the hype packages and like the pay-per-views and stuff like that. But yeah, like it was literally like one day I wasn't playing football and my brother was like, come to training and then didn't stop. That's basically it.
So I don't actually know this because I started a couple of years later. Did you, Tom, and Eddie all start at the same time then, or did one of you go
Um,
before and then the others come in?
so I actually started the latest full time, like actually training week to week. I started the latest. Tom went with his dad. They were going before they were even at the cottages. Cemetery Cottage, shout out. It's not there anymore. Which I love that venue, by the way.
That's
I
where I came in as well.
some core memories there. Like genuinely, like
Really good times.
we'll get into that. But like, um, and then Ed started a bit later, and then they were talking about it, and I was like, I don't want to go. Oh, I know my brother goes, but like, I don't care, you know. And then I don't know. I think there's especially Tom. There might be like a year's difference between me and him starting, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not exactly sure. I just it's all this weird timeline. But yeah. So we didn't start at the same time, but we debuted at the same time,
Yeah.
basically.
So being so young and training for this physical sport form of entertainment, whatever you want to call it, how did you find that at a young age?
Uh I I found it really fun. Like I mean, because like we got used to bumping. Because for the first I don't even know how long I was there. Because the format was they had kids sessions, and then the main session with the adults was in the ring, and we were just practicing really big fundamentals on crash mat and stuff. And then because my brother Tom was leaving to Edinburgh, he couldn't take the kids session anymore, so they decided to merge them and say like if you can only you can only start training if you're this age. I want to say we were
What,
like
14 maybe?
maybe I want to say we were 15, 14, 15. I don't know. It's a weird timeline. Like in terms of I can't exactly remember.
We were already in ring training when I started, and that was in 2017.
Okay. Well, we've been in ring training. So not to be mistaken, we were still in ring training.
Yeah,
Some of the
they're
kids
not doing
not crazy shit,
matches and
basically.
bumping.
Yeah, not up until that point. We were mostly doing crash mat stuff, and then me, Tom, and Ed, and some of the other older kids, were also doing in ring stuff. But then they all just moved all like kids at a certain age, so like our age and above, got moved into the ring. And like it hurt. It really hurt actually, because our ring, like the KW ring,
Oh, it's
for a
rough.
beginner, it's rough. So, especially in the winter and stuff, all the
Spring,
like
but
the
it's
spring's
pretty
gone.
dead in the
But
winter.
like it, I want to say like it taught me a lot. Even that like training at a young age, like a lot of fundamental like respect and being humble and like we were putting up the ring and putting it down and being there on time and leaving when everything was done every night. We were there for like 4 or 5 hours, like, and that was every week. It was like and shaking hands with everyone, saying hi. Um, listening to the coach, like all that stuff. Like it was drill based and it wasn't regimented. I'm not saying it's the army, but like that taught us a lot of fundamentals growing up as well. And like as
And
adults as well.
obviously, the early shows of knockout wrestling, you were there in the crowd, but obviously,
Yes.
too young to wrestle at that point.
Yeah. That too as well. When I talk about core memories, I've got like I was growing up with these guys who were like the guys that I'm wrestling now, especially Jake. Like I was watching him and I was like, he's sick. He's really cool. Um, and Jake's been like my main trainer for like the most part. We had Chris Ridgway for a couple of years, but then obviously he started taking more bookings elsewhere. He moved. So for the most part, Jake Nightmare has always been the head trainer at KOW, which means he's my fundamentals, my like everything. It trickles down to him. Um, um, and so being on shows with those guys, even at the cottages, like we had a match at the cottages, which I always forget about. Um,
I was going to
uh,
bring it up.
Yeah, we had a match at the cottages, and it's kind of forgotten about because it was like my second match because I had the triple threat with Ed and Tom that I won, by the way. You know. It-
Was that your actual debut, or are you on
yeah.
about the right? So the one I'm on about was
Ah, I know where you're going. All right.
so when
All right.
I
I'm with you
first
now.
came in, when I
I'm
first
with
came
you.
in there, and you were only about 14 years old, and they did the academy shows, didn't they? And I
Mm.
decided I wanted black face paint, and I had cut off black jeans. I looked a twat. Um,
You
but
did.
you know what I mean, I was already a bit older, a bit uglier,
Yeah.
kind of kind of looked the part already, even though I didn't
Mm.
really know how to wrestle or anything at that point. And on one of the academy shows, me and you wrestled against each other. And the thing was, as well, at that point, obviously, I'm 27 years old, and
I was 15.
you were 15. So all my friends came and watched the academy show. And they're thinking, why are you wrestling a kid? Is this what it is? You know, because at the time you look like a kid. You know, you
Yeah.
haven't, you know, grown properly, not grown properly, but you know,
I was
you
I
look like
was
a
wearing
15-year-old, and I
I
was
was wearing a black polo shirt and black shorts, and I had like a bowl cut basically because my hair was growing out. No hair, facial hair,
I
nothing.
wish I was wearing that. Fucking hell.
It would have been better off.
Black cut off things with my red Lonsdale boots. And I remember we did that spot at the end, didn't we,
Yeah.
where we did like the draping DDT over the middle rope.
Mm,
I remember practicing it, and you actually landed quite badly when we were practicing it, and you
mm,
hurt your neck, and I thought, oh
yeah.
no, paralyzed a 15-year-old, nice
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And
And we said,
and
fuck
then
it,
we
let's
said,
do it again.
why do we do this in the mat?
Yeah.
Because we're like, well, I definitely won't drop you on your head now because I know what not to do.
Yeah.
So we did it, and we did a whole thing where you like passed out. I looked panicked, and then your mum was shitting herself.
That was
I
like
don't remember. Do you know what? I remember thinking that was actually a good match.
yeah. I well for a 15-year-old and a guy who barely wrestled,
And
I really enjoyed that.
do you remember the spot we did as well, where it was like go for the super kick, throw up, go, and we still every time we wrestle, we still do that
Yeah,
now. That's
yeah.
like kind of
There is a spot in every one of our matches because some of them are on YouTube, and they will be in any of our matches we ever have, just because. And it's uh, I'm up for the power bomb. You push me over, I do a sunset flip. You pull me back out, throw a line, eat
nice,
a super kick, dive. Happens in every single one of our matches
brilliant,
from
brilliant.
from that moment onwards, and
I don't
it's
think
great.
we've wrestled each other since that one that's on YouTube, though. It's about 6 years ago.
Uh,
Have we? Apart from a tag team,
God, no, we've never done. We've
we did
never
a
actually had like a we did the tag match. That
we
was
did a
fun.
tag match
I
at
enjoyed
Morecambe.
that.
We did a tag match at Morecambe, didn't we? With me
But
and
like
RPD.
that was, roles were switched as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's the last time.
So
Last
yeah,
time.
yeah, no, that's it. I really enjoyed wrestling.
Yeah,
It. It's been a thing. So moving forward now, then. So we're wrestling. We started wrestling. We're on shows. Confidence is building. You're really good at what you do. The fire's there, and then you mentioned it before about coming to 18, 20 years old, getting a little bit older. I say a little bit older, fucking 18. But you're getting to that age where you can go out, you can have a drink.
yeah.
Talk about that little period of time for me.
Um, so I was on shows from 16, and like the leanest at that point from like that show. So 2017 March debuted to 20 the end of 2019 when we had our last show. 2017 was the leanest and the best shape I was in. From that point onwards, it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Um, and and then COVID obviously happened. But in that little period, obviously drinking, I'm going out with friends now. I'm 18. I'm not really eating great. I'm working. Um, I'm not going to the gym. I'm on and off with the gym, but the gym was a really scary place for me. And it isn't really now anymore, but I still have the same sort of like, I suppose, I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't really want to go to the gym today, and it'll be the same reasons I had when I was 17. But like, um, I because before that I was always in shape. My cardio was insanely good. But when my diet got bad, I was working retail, and as much as like retail, you do loads of training on how to lift properly. Retail absolutely is not an environment to have like a healthy lifestyle if you're not like on it all the time, because obviously you eat for convenience. Um, because you only get half an hour breaks instead of an hour for a lot of places, which I think is ridiculous. Um, you're told to lift properly, like bend down, but a lot of time you can't do that because there's not a lot of room. Stock room's too full, all that stuff, and that obviously hurts your back, and then you don't want to do exercise and thingy. So these all sound like they're all reasons that thingy, but ultimately, like, I just wasn't very accountable because I had no idea what I was doing. So, um, I just got pretty out of shape. Um, because I wasn't really a muscular dude. So, and I hadn't really put on weight before that. So any weight that I did, it just, and I was a bit chubby going into COVID. Like my shirt that I did have as a wrestler was now a crop top, basically. Got a nice little belly. Um, that's the best way to describe it. And I remember because Odyssey was going to happen before COVID, wasn't it? And I was supposed to be,
It was gonna. I think it was gonna happen in 2020 when
yeah.
COVID. Wait, it was
And
the first. I think the first show was meant to be August of 2020.
yeah, and we were supposed to face the meat wagon still, but we were going to both be wearing masks.
Uh,
And you took the promo shots for me in uh the training facility in the church, Hartington Street, and you were like, you were obviously we're good mates, so like you can say this stuff. You were like, mate, Will, you you're not looking good at all. And like at that point, like I look back at some of the pictures,
it was
I
about
was it was I don't know how harsh it was. I can't remember. But like that's what I took from it in terms of looking at myself. I was like, I'm really just not in shape. Like there's nothing good about the way I look right now. Not even in like a insecure way. Just like I'm unhealthy. And then obviously COVID hit. Do you want me to go into that right now? Oh.
yeah, well, yeah, like I say,
No.
yeah,
And then so COVID hit and then for that,
kind of coincided with
yeah.
this.
So obviously I'm out of shape going into COVID, so I'm gonna stay out of shape basically. And like I was eating junk food every night. Like it like I was 80 kg by January of 2021. Which is a v extremely hard weight for me to get to. Like very, very hard weight. I couldn't do that now, even if I was bulking, I don't think. I would have to eat like shit and not do anything. Um, but so yeah, so COVID hit around March 2020,
Archers and everything
and
went.
then up until January 2021, I was just bad lifestyle, bad thingy. All the stuff that I kind of took fr from 17 to 20, I just kind of
Yeah,
brought it over to COVID, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
To coincide with this, without going too deep on what I had going on at this moment, was I was just in a bad place in life generally through 2020, and I started doing all of my coaching courses and my PTing courses and everything with the intention of moving away and coming down and setting my business up. And I was working in the shipyard at the time and everything, and I needed a case study to to basically use to show that I can coach, that I can program for people, that I can emotionally help people, that I can do consultation calls with them, etc., and make changes to the plan. So I reached out to Will because I knew he was in this position where he's literally just said there that I tore him down, which I definitely weren't that harsh, but I probably
He
said
was not. He was not.
we were close enough for me to be able to
Yeah.
say, "Come on,
Yeah.
mate, you're gonna sort your shit out."
No.
And then you know you're all you know you're already like a little brother at that point anyway. So you were the first person where I was like, "Do you want to do this? But if you do this, I need you to do this. Like I
Mm.
can't have you half-ass it because this is what I'm going to be doing as a career, and I want you to help me. You know." And that's exactly what you did. So with COVID, we had to do consultation calls like over Zoom like this and record them and send them off to the moderator. And you know, I was doing them in the evening. So that's where Will became my first client and is still a client to this day. In 4 years later or whatever, 5 years, yeah, five, it'll be 5 years. No, 2021, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. So yeah, and how was that experience, that little period of time?
So I think like also to add on to it, like I academically I was in college from 20 end of 2017 to the end of 2019. Hated it. Met some really good friends there, but like academically that really put me off and like I was like I'm not going to uni. I'm not getting an apprenticeship. Like I'm done. And like that I wasn't in a great place mentally either. Not super deep, but like I wasn't doing very well and that obviously affects you physically. Um so by the start of 2021, again, out of shape. I'm not really doing anything productive. I'm getting into streaming at this time, like live streaming and editing and stuff. Because obviously, like I said, I was so into like production, like making and telling stories. And obviously COVID, you got a lot of time. So, and then obviously we started the program immediately on a calorie deficit. And I have to say also, we don't really like actually like in terms of crediting don't really speak about how important my mum was in this because she made for 3 months before like the gym and that she was making my meals every day and like making she making sure I wasn't she was weighing everything and like that takes a lot of burden off me as someone who gets like who overthinks things a lot. So being like, okay, this is just my meals until I'm used to it, like because I'd never done that thing before. So she made sure it was all on plan. There wasn't any mistakes. If there was any changes that needed making, I was like, "Can you do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, cool." And I was eating the same thing every day because like I'm also a creature of habit. I don't really care what I'm eating, to be honest. As long, like so, like yeah, I'm just so I remember, so the first 3 months were resistance bands, cardio, running every day, and it was sick. It was great. That was the first
You
time
got so lean. You got so
I so I went from 80 kgs to about 62 in 3 months because it had been the first time that my body had ever gone through something like that. So the weight just flew off. And to this day, I've never gone anywhere near that unless it was muscle. Um, Fluctuated, obviously, 'cause it's been 4 years. But like in terms of that little period, it completely changed the trajectory of my life because in that period, I also COVID started to thingy. I'm more productive now. I'm making more, and I apply for uni, and I'm getting to Manchester. Like that first initial period of the plan, like in terms of roots, it's like my parents, early life, and also the start of the plan are all rooted to how I'm here in Manchester with a place 4 years down the line in shape. Like it all comes down to like
it's
one of
mad.
the big factors being us starting this program.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's amazing. That's why I do what I do. Stories just like that, and the fact that you were the first ever person to come through me, give me immense confidence that I was doing the right thing as well, walking away from a job that was well paid to nothing really,
Mm.
and just jumping into the unknown. So I wouldn't have this if it wasn't for you. Do you know what I mean? And I don't forget that. And like I said, at that time we got you lean as hell, and then we packed on a load of muscle. I packed on about 6 kg of muscle. You look like a different human.
Mate,
It was insane. And like I
can,
said, we did a lot of that with resistance bands. And then do you remember when the gym opened and you started and we taught you how to deadlift properly and everything? It was like holy shit, he's getting strong and big here. Like
like as much as I'm in shape now, like COVID, obviously, you have nothing to do but eat, sleep, gym.
yeah,
Like that's the shape I'm aiming for. But like I unreal how I was looking like towards the like coming out of COVID and stuff and how much lean mass I was packing on. Um Unbelievable. To see where it was from. I think the reason why I look at the shape I was in so highly is because of where I was
yeah.
at the start of that year. Absolutely insane.
The
Like
thing is, as well, it's following the process as well because people are like, oh, what a pack on muscle, what to do this. Well, you got to get lean first to do that.
and it takes fucking
And it
time
does take a
because
bit
like
of time. It takes a bit of effort. And that first few months, when you dropped all of that body fat and you got down to like skinny's the wrong word, but you were very lean, but you
very
didn't have
lean.
a great
Yeah.
deal of muscle at that time because all we had was resistance bands to train with. But then your body, because you were lean, just fucking reacted to it and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
stacking muscle on
And
muscle on.
it was never complicated. It was never hard. Like it's
Yeah,
like it was just get into a routine and do it. Like
that's such a routine and consistency.
yeah, literally, it like and your life is gonna get busy. Like so, it's about adjusting and knowing your limits as well. Like if realistically, it's about setting realistic goals. I think, and we always adjust our goals and stuff like that to make sure we're being realistic still. Um,
Yeah.
because like I think you don't want to overreach and get exhausted and
But
stuff. Like I'm in uni.
you can have the big overall goal, but things
Mm,
are going to change, and you can't just.
yeah.
You know, people say it's one step at a time. You've got to look around. What's the next milestone in this? And are we still aiming for the same trajectory, or do we have to mix
Yeah.
things up? And obviously, at the moment, you're in one of these transitional periods where it's like, right, what are we working on at the moment? What are we working towards at the moment? And this is
Mm.
where this is another junction in your life at the moment. So what is life looking like for Will at the moment? Then what have you got going on at the moment? What are
It's
your goals? What are you working towards?
so this is the busiest I've ever been professionally, personally. Um, I'm in a very happy relationship right now, first and foremost. Um, and that's obviously that always helps your routine and stuff. Professionally, um, obviously wrestling's going really well. Being able to tell those stories and go into the New Year's with those. I'm in my final semester of university, hoping to graduate this year. That's full blown crazy. I do a course called Future Media Production, which works. It's a lot of filmmaking, but it's also content creation, social media, virtual effects, Unreal Engine. It's everything packed into this small course, user experience. I'm going to be mentored next month by a user experience designer because I'm looking to move into that field or somewhere around there. Um, and I also run a media startup with another one of my course mates. It's called Catharsis Media. Anybody who's in the wrestling space, Northwest might, I'm trying to sound humble here. They may have seen it, may have seen it. We've worked with guys like Teddy Ray, Joe Kessler, Scott Oberman, worked with Odyssey quite a lot. I'm going to be working with a couple of guys coming up. Um, where we're just making stuff for people. And but like for me, what I want Catharsis to be, like I want it to be a business, but I want it to be a place where students, uh, practitioners earlier on in their careers as well, or later on in their careers, who don't necessarily have the access to these things. And it's almost like a co-working space for, say, Rikki wants a project making. They comes to Catharsis and either we make it or we bring in a team. Everybody gets paid, everybody gets their stuff. Um, Wrestlers as well. Like wrestling is so rich in talented people, but like, and they have all these amazing ideas, but they don't have the means. Um, and us having access to studios through university, it gives these guys and girls who have these incredible minds, like a guy like Paolo with a studio space, give him an hour, some of the stuff he'll come up with. Um, and that's just one example. But being able to do that, having and being like sort of like a middleman almost, I suppose. Maybe like an agent. I don't know. Um, between that. Yeah.
The go-tos are
Yeah.
people like
Yeah.
do promos in the
Because
front seat of the car while the missus runs into the co-op.
exactly, just being like and it accessible, affordable, um, in an industry that needs more money, in a scene that needs more people. Like we've already had Teddy Ray's already worked with multiple graphic designers that he found through us, um um, through asking me. And that's what I want it to be. So
That
that's Catharsis Media. We're making stuff, constantly making stuff, editing for YouTube. Um, just it's an extremely busy time for me. And it's also a really exciting time because I'm going to move into my next stage of my career. Um, the gym is still there, routines are still there. It's Manchester, so there's a lot of excuses that you can pull, stuff that like, some of it's out of your control as well. But I'm in a very, very, very good place coming into like now it's January. I'm excited. Big final project as well. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be
oh,
good. Yeah.
amazing. So that has been Will Livesey, and like I say, mate, from me to you, I just want to say thank you for being the first person to do one of these kind of podcasts. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the people listening enjoyed it. Get them fingers down, you little weirdo. Yeah, yeah, no, like, thank you so much, mate. Thank you for helping me get to where I am now, doing the thing that I absolutely love and being able to help and impact people as well. And if you didn't do that from the off for me and follow through with it, because I knew you wanting to do that to help me as well as yourself, I wouldn't be where I am now, mate. So I do truly appreciate that. So I just want to sign off with a question, and this is going to be a question that I'm going to ask people that come on here. So, what is the number one piece of advice current Will would give 10-year-old Will?
10-year-old.
You were a kid, based on what you know now in your life, what advice would you give that 10-year-old kid?
Um, oh God.
Put you on the spot here because I
Put me
didn't
on the spot.
record.
Right, let me think. Oh, I think establish a routine, establish goals, and ask for help in getting those things because you can't do it on your own.
Cool. And we'll leave it at that. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's the one, mate. So again, mate, thank you so much. If you have enjoyed this episode with Will, again, can't say thank you any more than I already have. Like, share, subscribe, comment, show Will some love. And again, thank you so much, mate.
Thank you.